Now, let's talk a little bit about the idea of trading based on value and how we identify value in a market. Now, I'll share with you that there are two basic techniques or schools of thought around the idea of value in the market. The first school of thought says we have to do a fundamental analysis. We have to take a look and sort of see how the economy is doing and do a little bit of research, study, and so on, study the company, their management, their potential. Depending what it is that you want to value, we'll take a look at the fundamentals, the PE ratios, we'll do a technical analysis or a financial analysis of the company. Technical analysis is the next one we'll get to. And then we'll make a decision on where value is for a particular stock or a particular instrument. Another technique is technical analysis. And once again, I'm going to pose the question to you: what chart, what tool do you have that's available to you right now that can actually identify value for you on any instrument at any given point in time on any auction? I was in Park City in the winter last year, and someone came to me and said, "Oh, there's this beautiful, gorgeous house, and it's only $675,000. The market is down. This house was selling for $2 million a couple of years ago. You ought to buy it. This is great. What a deal." And of course, I've never owned property in Park City. How do I know that this is really a good value or not? I have to do some research. And the logical thing to do would be to take a look at home prices that have sold in that area, let's say within a 6-month period, and take a look at some numbers to try to come up with a rational decision. Now, if you take a look at these numbers, does that look like a really good value for the home in your opinion? All right, not a good value. Why not? Because if we take a look, most of the homes actually sold at about around what? 450, exactly. That's an overpriced property. All right, now you begin to see the benefit of using statistics and doing a normal distribution for the data that we have about any particular market. Now, the same information that I displayed in the form of a table is now displayed before you on a graph. And take a look. The vast majority of them were around $450,000. $675 doesn't look like such a hot deal anymore, does it? Now, when I put a curve around it, we begin to have what's known as a normal distribution. I'm not going to spend too much time on probability and statistics, but I do want to share with you and make sure that you are comfortable with the idea of what a normal distribution is. There is a phenomena in nature whenever we look at an aggregate of data and we begin to organize the data, that we are going to come up with what's known as a normal distribution. That's just what it's called. Or sometimes you'll hear it referred to as a bell curve, because it looks like a bell. And it is a way to organize data. Now, we could, for instance, take 1,000 people at random off the street, and then we could look at the height of the people or the weight of these people. You will find that we will get a normal distribution. There will be so many that will be 5 feet 8, and they will be the vast majority. And then there will be some that very few that are 7'2" or 7'8", and then there will be others that will be 3 feet 2 in that distribution. So it is a very useful and a very powerful way to examine and study and analyze data. Now, the normal distribution concept also shows us that the bulk of the data lies right here in this area. So as a matter of fact, if you knew that the average weight of people was about 170, and someone asked you to guess their weight, if you guessed close to 170, your probability of being right is very high. If you said 180, let's say 165, or somewhere around 70, 70 being the average, because look at the aggregate. The vast majority, and as a matter of fact, about 68.2% in that narrow, tight range. Similarly, we are going to look at the market in that same way, and we are going to begin to analyze data from market activity and see where the action is. Where are people really trading? What prices are they buying and selling at? Now, once again, we cannot identify this on any of the available technical charts for us.